Right, hello folks. We've got another group today of local people who are going to just again share their memories over the last few years. I worked out to say that I think we've been here about 47 or 48 years, so we're not local, but we have been here quite a long time. And in fact, three of the group, in fact 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 of the group now are all from the original new houses along Port Cheek. Margaret's the outsider here, she's in that Burnside Road. So I'm going to start off just by asking you to introduce yourself and just say where you live and how long you've been here or anything that's relevant. Start with you, Margaret.
Margaret Thompson, and I live in Burnside Road.
I'm Kathleen Gordon and I live in Bargarret Road. Formerly I used to live in Port Cheek Terrace.
John Gordon, Snap, Bargarret Road, formerly Port Cheek Terrace.
Val Eason, Port Cheek Terrace.
George Bryden, I'm in Port Cheek Terrace now, although I was in Bolstyle Road to start with, in 2 different houses, 46 years ago. 1976 I came to the village.
Right, thank you. One thing I say which is worth commenting from the very beginning is that a lot of people have changed houses, and myself just could say that we started off in the wee houses, and I don't know what your reason was for coming to the village, but I'll say that we came because it was cheaper than air, and it was reasonably handy for my work. You've moved.
Well, we came to the village originally for that reason, because the houses were cheaper, and also because my mother and father at that time had the Kirkmichael Arms. So we used to come at the weekends, and they were building the houses in Port Cheek Terrace, and we went up one weekend, didn't we?
I was clambered in
a
window in a house that was kind of partially completed and thought, this is pretty good, this is better than you get in here for the same kind of money. So that's how we ended up.
And you were our neighbours, well, we'll come back to that later. It's always good to have good neighbours, I'll keep in with them. And that's good. In fact, the friendship has been maintained over all these years. But you then moved, I keep you going about moving up to the dizzy heights of the higher, the posh houses.
Well, it was one way we had to get away from you, Noreen.
I know, it's terrible when you have to leave to get away to the houses. So that's not far away from me though, not too far away. Val, you moved the same kind of time, didn't you?
Tom was working in digital up at Moss Hill, and they had a great sports and social club, and one of them was the football club, and they used to come out to the village to play football, and all the wives and families came out as well. And what I remember that drew me to the village, the kids were playing on the swings, and there was one wee girl that gave her swing to our group of kids, and she had very short hair and brown sandals on, and I said, "What's your name?" And she says, "Monica."
Oh.
And I just thought, to let these strange kids come in and give her
Is
swing.
that Monica Sturgeon, do you think? Very good.
And it was just a nice place, so we moved in, and we've been in the same house ever since, 47 years. In fact, it's only ourselves and Fiona that's stayed in the same house. But there's, you've been...
Well, I moved to the village temporarily in 1976 because my brother owned the house at the bridge that Doc Scobie lives in now, and that used to be the nurseryman's house, Albert's nursery, and I moved in there to rent it because it was lying empty. He was abroad, so I moved in there just for a short time, but at the time they were just starting to build the Bolstyle Road houses, which were adjacent to the bridge, and we thought, well, this is a nice wee place. My brother was coming home, so we thought we'll have to move out, and we bought one of the houses up the road. And after the family got bigger, we thought we'll need some more space, so we moved round the corner to Port Cheek Terrace where we are now. So I've been in 3 different houses in that time, most of them, the 3 of them, in the first 5 years really. So
and our children, not our
no.
children, have lived in 3 houses in the village, in the street, in the actual street. My daughter's lived in 1, 2, And then 3 houses in the street, 4 houses in the village. But
So
both our respective daughters have moved in next door to.
that's
So
right.
they're yes, permanent babysitters.
But that's how nice, especially the street
Yeah,
is.
the family.
Yeah, very much people like the village.
Yes,
right?
that they wanted
Like
to
it, they
move.
wanted to
Say
stay
we
in.
just moved from a 2-bedroom, and then I saw when I was on maternity leave, I saw that there was a house for sale, and I was sort of keeping out the window. Well, that's bigger and all the rest of it. So made the mistake actually of buying before we sold, which was as another story. That's why we haven't moved since.
But the village has changed quite a bit, because I remember when we first moved here, well, the petrol pumps, they had the petrol pumps.
Outside the pub.
The garage, they had Eric Kennedy's grocer shop.
Yes.
The butcher shop
Butcher
was still open, and the main post office at the top of the street there was still open there, and the spa shop, or the shop was round there, maybe not the spas then, but it was another shop that was in the village.
Which one was that?
Irene
Oh
McCosh.
yes, Irene's. Irene's shop. Yeah, they've changed a good bit. So we're here today in the Kirkmichael Arms, which is one of the main pubs, in fact, the only one that's left now in the village. And this has been a feature of much of our entertainment in our early years. Now we're getting older, you see, and we maybe don't come as often, but it was a great place to come. And there is a connection here. And I could just go back to you, Margaret, because we missed you out there in terms of the reason you came to the village there. What was your connection?
Well, like everybody else, we had a flat in Maybole and we could afford a house here,
Yeah,
and we could afford a house in Maybole.
So you're local, your folks were local and everything though?
Yes, I had relations in Kirkmichael,
Yeah.
and I'm local to Maybole. So it's 48 years
Oh,
we moved, and well, we've just stayed very well. We've built Billy has built 2 extensions, and then the house next door, there was a demolition order put in that, so we bought that, and
expanded your
we've
garden.
expanded,
Yeah.
expanded in that way. So no, I think we're here for the duration.
Yes, I know, never be moving again. And there, this street, this Portcheek, I think I've said already that Portcheek belonged to a farm, but that was a strange name. But it had a variety, it had 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom houses, so it was a stepping stone for people. But back to the pub, as we say, which has been an institution here for such a long time, and we have Kathleen's mother ran the pub. If you could tell us a wee bit about that, Kathleen.
Well, and in those days, the creamery was still here. So, although my mum wanted to get out of catering, she was fed up doing that. But the boys used to come down at lunchtime, and she would give them soup and a pie, heated pie or something like that. And they had a good, it was a good friendly pub that people used to come in, sit with a fire, and in those days the farmers used to come in a lot, and of course to begin with there wasn't, you could drink and drive in those days,
yes.
so there would be a number would come in about 5 o'clock when they were coming home from their work,
Yes.
for a wee dram before they went home for their dinner. So yeah, it was a good, very busy pub at the weekends. Saturday night was standing room only, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was with no food, It was just,
So the room has changed a lot. John, tell us a wee bit about the changes, and I mean this has been extended here.
Yeah,
the bar was
well,
very small, wasn't
the
it?
bar was tiny, but what I remember was it was probably 10 or 12 farmers who were in a kind of loose gathering, and they would have 5 or 6 halves up at the McClure
Oh yes.
at 5 o'clock, and then 5 or 6 halves down here. That was basically how you filled in the time from 5 till 7 if you were a farmer, it seemed in those days. Well, the gentleman farmers seemed to do that anyway. And I think, George, you'll maybe remember this, there was a story that one of the first breathalyze people was outside or
No, I don't remember
close to the McClure.
that.
I forget the guy's name, but allegedly he was one of the very first to get done on the breathalyzer.
Really?
It must have been about, I don't know, 1977.
I don't know when they
78.
started that. That would have made that did make a difference. And the smoking ban, of course, would make a difference.
Smoking made a big difference.
Because you'd come in here, I think the original building stopped about, the original bar stopped
It was
about.
tiny.
That being there, that was where the wall was. And
Yeah.
in the middle of that, there was the fireplace.
That's right.
So you had that space between a fire, and if it was a raging fire,
You're
you were
back.
standing
You
outside
were
the door.
Because the pool table was in.
The
The
pool
pool
table
table was
was through there, yeah.
That's
There
right.
was a wee passage through that way to get into it.
Because my mum and dad's living room, if you like, which was tiny, was through as part of where the dining room is
Oh,
there.
right, forgot about that.
And there was a wee chap, remember the chap?
Yeah,
Yes.
the wee hole in
The
the
wall in
wall.
the wall where
That's
the
right.
kids used to come and ask for some
I
sweeties.
know.
Oh,
Or my
that's
mother would
right.
make them a cocktail, like Monica would
Uh-huh.
come down and they'd be trying to look through to see the boys playing pool and
Uh-huh.
things. And she'd say, would you like a wee cocktail? So she would make like Monica and we call that
Noreen?
No,
See, this memory goes.
Oh.
No, anyway,
You-
Annie Maguire's
Aye.
daughter,
Manny.
Manny, thank you,
was-
George.
Manny was-
Manny used to come and Mum would make them up like an orange juice and something, you know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought this was great because they were drinking a
Cocktails.
So-
I'd forgotten about that wee hatch there because they got
But
the
the
crisp.
smoke used to be hellish in
in
here.
here.
And I remember your husband
Oh, all right.
and me
Uh.
and Dave, we all stopped smoking cigarettes and went onto the pipes. And dear God, in here, the colour of the walls, you had to have a separate set of clothes to come down the pub, because in those days, well, particularly when your mother and father had the place, I mean, I was down most nights, and yeah, you just came in and you weren't conscious of it
No.
so much, but when the smoking ban came in, it did make it, I think it made a difference, a positive difference.
Just for health.
Yeah.
I've seen me coming down here on a Friday night thing, I'll nip into the... I was normally a top pub man, there was the top pub and the bottom pub. So
Yes.
folk were top pub, bottom pub, or both. That was mainly top pub. I thought, I'll go into the Kirkmichael Arms tonight, and I come down and I opened the door, and I was just met with a cloud of cigarette
It's
smoke.
terrible, isn't it?
And there was people in the bar, you could just about make them out through the smoke. And I thought, no, I'll just keep going up the road. That was
I
that.
thought you were going to say that, you know, you couldn't tell Liz you hadn't been in the pub because the smell of the smoke
You
would...
just walking past it, you get the smell.
I hear a wee story about you in the rugby and something to do with a tenner from that pub.
Well, that was a fantastic day. It was the last day that Scotland ever won. In fact, it was the sixth. It wasn't the Six Nations. It was the Five Nations, and it was the very last game of the old Five Nations in 2000, the year 2000. And two from folk and I were in here and we watched the. We needed Wales. It wasn't Scotland. Scotland's game was done, but we needed Wales to beat England, or the Wales to beat somebody. And lo and behold, Wales did the trick. So Scotland were the champions. So I was, of course, I would consumed several Lafroigs for the top shelf there. I thought I'll go up to the top pub because the boys will be watching the football. I want to hear about the rugby. So I went in there, and the Rangers match was in the telly. And hey, we won the Six Nations. And I thought, blow me. This is just terrible. You know, nobody's interested. Says, I'll make sure they remember. So, and it was a dreich, I think it was a Sunday actually. It was a dreich day, there was nobody about. So I thought, right, I'm going to run down to the bottom pub in the Scud just so that I'll remember this event. And I think I'm going to have a pint at the bottom pub and I'm going to run back up. And somebody said, how are you going to carry the tenner? You've got no pockets and you're not allowed to carry it in your hand. So I had got quite good control of my buttocks and my legs. But I wedged it at the top of my crack and I ran down the road all the time, making sure it was still there. And I came in here and it was Liz and it was Sandy that I come walking in. And there was one other person in here. A lot of people say, oh, I was in the pub the day George came in the Scud. There was only one person in, it was Craig Blaine.
Really?
And I ordered a pint of Timothy Taylor landlord, down in one, and got my change, which I had to hold because it was too late. Back up the road, and nobody saw me.
Really?
Nobody saw me.
My goodness.
Well,
Well, we know
we
we know the story, we have heard the story. I'm glad
I
Ron
thought
was
it was
able.
only Ollie Anderson, George, that did that kind of thing.
Well, it was always my inspiration, of course.
That's right.
So he had done this before, Ollie?
Well, I
Well,
thought they did it in Kirkmichael.
No, it was ARC
Oh,
film.
did it, yeah.
Aye.
Oh, right.
Uh-huh.
So this was Kirkmichael's equivalent.
George was always a crowd.
So I went back into the pub and I said, right boys, you'll not forget the day we won the 6 and 8 of 5 Nations.
So there were two pubs at that time, as you say. We've had a wee bit of discussion about that with some of the other groups. There was a difference in the two pubs. I must admit, I did go to both pubs personally, but what I remember about the top pub, it was him that drove the digger.
Noreen.
No. Who died?
Oh,
Ian Tom.
No.
Jim Blaine.
No.
Colin.
Colin, who liked to do the karaoke in here. Colin McCrae. And I remember speaking to him, and there was the doc was at one side and somebody else, and these men, mostly men, in that this was about 5 or 6 o'clock after work, and I was speaking to Colin. I don't know what we're talking about, but maybe the discussion had been intellectual stuff or something like that. And I said about reading. Colin says, I can read 3 books in a day. Now, Colin draws a digger, and I thought, I haven't time as a teacher to read 3 books, and I thought, terrible irony that Colin's, away ahead of me here. He's reading, he's going through more books in a week than I'm doing in a year, for goodness sake. So Colin was a character, he liked the karaoke. You had karaoke in here, hadn't you?
I didn't, but I can't remember. Well, I certainly wouldn't be.
No,
Participating in it.
We were very regular at the karaoke.
Our name lives on at the quizzes.
That's right. Ian Coulter did the karaoke's.
When Sandy and Liz.
When Sandy and Liz did the
Right, and that was after Kathleen and Kathleen's mum had the pub. There were various changes, and then we had a couple called Sandy and Liz, who actually lived beside us in Portcheek, but who had a very busy pub as well. It was a busy pub. They did introduce some food, I must admit, because as I said to someone, I do remember Liz cooking next door, because I thought, oh well, that's what's for the pub's dinner, as lasagna or something. And Liz was a strong character. Liz is a strong character, because she would say, Sandy! You'd hear this shouting. So Sandy I'd known because he'd worked in Ayr. So they were a great couple to run the pub.
I used to see Sandy in the morning. I walked the dogs in the morning, and about 8 o'clock I would be going across the park, and Sandy would be coming to work. And he was here till midnight.
Hard worker. They worked very, very hard.
Absolutely.
They dedicated to the pub, and it showed really because of the number of people who've come in and so on. It was so they didn't work hard on that. So you were in the top pub then. So it was slightly different. It was like the shooting fish, and I thought the farm had more men there.
More men, I would have said.
Yeah, definitely more men.
But on the Friday night in the village, everybody used to dress up. And when I first came here, and Friday nights up there would be couples coming in, all, working folk with their good clothes on, collar and tie, come out to the pub for a drink with their wives.
Oh, you mean they had gone home and got dressed up?
Aye. Mostly the older villagers.
Aye.
People that were used to going out and rather than get away into town, you just go into the pub up the road.
You're
So
talking
down here we had Mrs. Ray, and up there we had Mrs. Rue, and up the top we had Mrs. Ray. So it was Mrs. Ray the top pub, Mrs. Ray the bottom pub.
I remember my mum getting dressed up on a Saturday night with Aunt Mary, who was a friend who worked with her. And they put on the long, long tartan skirts on at night, or whatever, on a Saturday night.
Just for the weekend.
Not just for the weekend.
just to make an occasion of it.
Try and make people feel they were actually Coming out.
That as a special occasion. And the McClure had a few different owners as well. You had Rabdale, and I think
Rabdale had it for a while, and there was a lot of people.
a few different owners.
Kevin.
We're all in the same.
John Lowry.
John Lowry, yes.
Famously.
Famously.
The Simpsons.
Simpsons
had it.
Yeah, so sadly it closed.
Robertson's.
Oh, aye.
Robertson's.
How long is it since the McClure's closed then? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
10 years?
Yeah.
Must be.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there was a period of time when this place was closed too, which was very, very sad for the village. There was nowhere to drink. I mean, that's,
Yeah, I think it was quite a wee while after Russell Anderson, because it fell into a bit of disrepair. I mean,
Yes.
Dorothy had to do a lot of work to get this up and running, you know, the way it is now.
and that was, yes, what time was that? What era was that? You were
Well,
Dorothy was early.
Russell was after Sandy, he bought it from Sandy and Liz.
So who knocked the wall down and opened it?
Dorothy.
Was it?
Dorothy did all that, yeah.
That's a big.
Because they had to, because the roof had sort of come in a bit, so the opportunity was taken just to put in presumably RSJs and things, because that must have been a supporting wall at some time.
It was closed for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I felt it was a lot because it was kind of
A long
depressing.
time.
You know, when you had a kind of, not an interest in it, but when you had always had a
Connection.
thanks George, you kind of felt
It's
sorry when you saw the
sad.
windows falling out.
And although, I mean, it was closing and there weren't so many people maybe going because generations kind of move on a wee bit, but even though maybe you weren't going to it, they still didn't want to see the place.
No, going to decay.
But Dorothy Burks did a great job bringing it back to the way it was.
Yeah, that's good. So,
Can I stop you again, folks? That
The
beep's going again.
started again. I don't know what it is that's done it, so but there we are. You know what you did the last time,
Yes, I
George?
saw what it said.
Oh right, be
But
careful
don't be
in case
surprised
the
if
blue
the
flash
fire
is up.
You hit it and
the
then
alarm off.
We'll set the timer for the fire brigade.
You know what just struck me? Once in a generation, COVID. We've never mentioned COVID.
No, that's true.
No.
Yeah.
People have tried to block it
I
out.
was thinking about the pub being closed, you know,
Yes.
during COVID.
You start it again.
No, it's still run.
Okay. Then I was just going to say, has this always been a pub as far back in history? I mean, like I don't know how far
I think so,
this
yeah.
Yes,
building
yes, yes.
exists from.
I think originally it was 2 or 3 cottages.
Right.
Way back. I suppose it might be Weaver's
The
cottages.
the other cottages
It's
are
always
weeks.
been, there's the old Urban Survey maps are the earliest Urban Survey maps, 1840s. It's back down as Kirkmichael Arms, a public house.
Right.
So there was quite a few public houses in the village in those days, but this was always marked down as a public house. But before that, I don't know when it would be built. But
There was also a hotel, just a Cloncaird Hotel, I think it was called, about 2 doors up, a big white, where the White House is. I think that was true. So there've always been an interest there.
And did the McClure become a house then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a house. Another feature of, we talked about this again with other groups, was the Jokes, which was the cafe, because again, we knew we needed places to go to, and Jokes was changed from a cottage. Did you went been to Jokes quite a bit at that time?
Well, it was a blacksmith.
Ah, that's right, Jock.
I don't know.
This famous
when
Jock.
it was a house.
Oh right, it was a storage place.
That was his
His
workshop.
workshop.
Yeah.
My dog seemed to be quite a character. I mean, I did see him, but he used to go.
Have you seen him?
Yeah. He used
You
to.
obviously didn't go to the church.
It was the beadle in the church.
Yes, I heard that and he got the white gloves or something.
But he used to go up to the butcher's shop, and the story was that he used to get like 3 pieces of sliced sausage a day, and he would go up and he would put down the money for the sliced sausage. Well, the amount of money he put down remained the same.
Oh,
But then, you know, yeah.
whether the price changed or not.
Yeah.
And he lived in.
Yes,
Yes.
beside
Aye,
the Riddles house. But it was a tiny wee small area apparently, according to Rosie. I mean, he lived in.
I only lived, I think, in a couple of
Aye, because Jim Douglas, Jim and Marjorie
that's
bought it
right.
after Jock died. And I think Jim said there was like grass growing out of a wardrobe upstairs because the roof had come in, you know, and it was open to the elements.
But he was cared for. Jimmy Hyatt's wife took him in.
Is it?
I think I think he lived. The Hyatts looked after him.
They weren't related then, no.
I really don't know.
Did he have any other family?
Aye.
He did have Jock.
A job, I don't know.
I remember that he went into hospital at one point, and I think my mum was in visiting somebody, so I'll go in along and see Jock. And she'd gone along, and he said to her, "You know what they did to me, missus? You know what they did? They gave me a bath," he said. "They gave me a bath, and I wasn't needing it."
You're already that year.
For the sake of the film, Jock used to clean chimneys and all sorts, so
yes, he was.
it was an occupation that he got a bit dirty in.
The first quite when I was in my brother's house at the bridge, there was a wee bit of grass, it's still there, just between the bridge and the entrance. And I was cutting the grass one day and I thought, I've got a bit outside, I'll tidy that up. And Jock came by and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just tidying, I'm cutting the grass." "That's not your grass." He says, "No, I know, but I'm just tidying it up." "That's council grass." "Aye, I know, but you're doing somebody out of job." "But they don't cut it, doesn't matter." You're doing somebody out of job. So I'll get a row for cutting the grass.
My goodness.
Well, just after we moved in, there's a lane between us that took you into the field.
Oh,
back
aye.
there, and I had come out the back door, and he was looking over the fence. So he said who he was, and he thought he would just come and see what we looked like.
Just to get to know the village.
So we kept
What-
an eye on him.
What happened to Jock's Cafe? I mean, I know it closed, but is it part of the house now? Or?
Well, it's part of the house that's called the Tower. And there's nothing happening in it at the moment, but I think there might be plans.
There might be
I don't
plans.
know.
So the house,
There are plans to open it in the spring or summer as the 3 village creative arts. So they're going to lease it and rent it.
That sounds nice.
there were the cafe, I think, the Cafe Jokes was run partially by KVR, which is this body in the village, and I think they found that financially it was getting too expensive, so they had to find another location. So the cafe then moved. Cafe moved across to McCosh Hall. So the McCosh Hall now has the cafe and a shop, and then the open area upstairs. The whole upstairs is used for the public.
I
That's the way
have
it
to
is.
say, I like Jock's as a restaurant.
Yes,
I thought it was a really nice
Yes,
atmosphere.
yeah, lovely,
Really
tastefully
nice
done.
atmosphere.
Again, that was the Thompsons who did that.
That's right.
It was
It was
nice.
cosy, it was nice.
Aye.
Nice
And the
atmosphere.
stone walls and
Stone
everything.
walls.
Yeah,
It was smashing.
Yes, and a big open fire, it was lovely.
Do you remember any events in the McCosh Hall that you've attended over the years?
I used to go a lot of village dances. I mean, even since we came, there were
Uh-huh.
quite regular dance. You know, whether it was the
Yes.
wine circle dance or the bowlers dance or whatever.
Quite a few home-made dances.
Yes, I remember being at one, and I don't know what it was, the hall was full. I think they were run out of tables, and the only table left for me to sit at was the guy,
Hunter Blair.
Hunter
I
Blair.
remember.
Hunter
Jamie
Blair.
Hunter Blair.
Jamie Hunter Blair was the owner of Blairwan Castle, and there was that was the only space, and he was at the far end of the table, and I remember sitting at the other end of the had a whole crowd there who were already seated, and he looked around, and I mean, I just sat down, he didn't know me from Adam. He says, "Right, 6 ports, please, 6 ports." You know, he was putting in an order for his nieces.
It a lot of
He
pieces.
had a lot of nieces, yes. So I remember dancing with them actually. It must have been, I had a sort of tartany thing on, so it must have been near
Yeah.
Christmas or a New Year or something like that. But that was, Hunter Blair was down, so he was coming to events in the village.
He used to
Oh, he was a
come to
regular.
Right.
He engaged with, so Blairwan's, couple of miles up the road basically. So he came to these events too. So,
The Parents Committee had a dance, Margaret was in it as well. We raised funds to give the children, all the villagers a trip in the summer and a Christmas party at Christmas. And our main funding was a themed dance in the hall.
That's the dance, that was later. They always had a whist drive.
Oh yeah.
Before that they had a whist drive, and then after the whist drive they had a dance, and that was a fundraiser for the Parents Committee. And then it sort of changed to a themed disco.
we were talking about that yesterday about it was Matt Drummond was talking about the village trip. I think he remembered that. And maybe we had a village trip to, I don't think it was a bigger or somewhere, quite a long distance.
Yes,
and then the Christmas events and so on. And it was a fantastic, because we had just young families at that time. It was fantastic to service.
I think there was like £3 per child. Christmas presents, especially. It went up as the years went on, but you were able to go in pound stretchers and whatever it was. It was a great destination for Christmas presents.
It was a great thing. We were talking again about that, the fact that there isn't maybe the same need now.
No.
Because they have bigger choices. You don't need to have the same number of events in the village that they had
The
then.
thing I remember at the hall when we first came was that there was a badminton club, and it was a lot of folk from Strait who came into it.
Jean Wilson.
It was a really good badminton. It was a great hall for badminton. Because
It was a good high ceiling.
High ceiling.
That's right.
And it was really busy that Thursday night.
And there was a league. They played in the league.
Played in the league.
Leadership league as well.
Are they playing something else now?
They are.
These two.
We're
Playing something called
Badminton's
pickleball.
still a value.
You're
You're badminton and pickleball. Yes, this is new. Tell us about
Sounds
it.
very
It
fit.
is, it's a different version of it. I think we're all over 70.
But we're moving. I mean, even I'm moving.
Oh. Are you playing the pickleball in McCosh?
Yes.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Trying.
What is it?
Trying.
Wednesday, Thursday? You go to
We
Maple.
go to Maple.
The hall, though, because it has so many things now in it, the area is restricted, so there's certain backhand shots you can't hit because
You're against the wall.
You're hitting against the wall.
That's good, you've got an excuse now.
No, I had an excuse. I missed that, and my backhand's not so good or whatever.
Do you get another shot if you run out of room?
No. Well, we used to have wee rules about we'll play a let, but now we don't bother. And then at the back of the hall, because there's hardly any room to serve, nobody wants to play at that side of the hall because right, you have no room to hit the balls.
You mentioned Jock, and we've heard about him from a number of people. Is there anybody else that's you remember from your early days of moving into the village that were characters as well?
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of his name. The wee guy that died, that came to this pub quite a lot. Wee Rab. Aye, tell us a wee bit about Rab then.
Wee Rab was he appeared in the village, and he would do anything for anybody. He helped everybody in the village, but he was a stranger to soap and deodorant.
Seems to be a common problem.
That's right. Rab actually, I'm a gardener, so I had Rab help me for a while, and I told my son one morning, look, we're going to have to get a hand here, and I'm going to get Rab to help us. And he said, no, you can't get Rab, because it's free in a van. I said, we'll have to get Rab. So, well, he's sitting in the middle, okay. So Rab appeared, and he was quite high. So Stuart, the first couple of days, window rolled right down. He'd out the window on the way anywhere we went. But he was such a good. It cost me more money in broken machinery, but he was a really hard worker. He was a great wee guy, and he was small. He was small, but he was powerful, and he didn't stand any nonsense for anybody.
He walked everywhere.
He walked everywhere. Aye.
Yes.
And he was ambushed. He was kidnapped. Kidnapped with gypsies.
When was this?
Just before he
I was
died.
a slave.
Couple of years before he died. Passed away.
Tell it.
He was into the John Street to to see,
The
to
social
see about work,
security or
social
something.
security. And when he came out, a man was waiting for him and said, do you fancy a bit of work? And Rab said, yeah, that'll be good. So, right, jump in the van, we'll take you away somewhere. So they took him away somewhere, and he didn't do anything. What do you want me to do? Oh, you're fine. I'll just run you home now. So they run him home, so they found out where he lived. And then the next day he came and says, right, we've got a bigger job on now. So they kidnapped him. They took him to Manchester, which was, they took him to Manchester, which was where the thing about the gypsies, you know, kidnapped people. There were several people down there who had been kidnapped.
Good heavens.
And Rab got speaking to a wee Indian guy, and he said, don't ever try to run away, Scotsman, because they'll come and get you. And I think Rab said, well, they'll not get me. So he tried to run away, they caught him, and they took him, shaved his head. And I think they had him tied up or something like that, but he managed to escape again. And he escaped, he ran over fields, he hitched a lift, he got as far as Garsang, I think, or something like that, and then he got a lift up the road in a lorry. But that was it, and after that, he was terrified it was coming to get him.
Sadly, he died on the Cross Hill Road.
Well, he did die, but it's unknown how he died. Very strange circumstances.
Yes.
So whether it was related
To that. I never heard that story.
But he had that story, he told it to a lot of folk, but I don't know if he was believed for a wee while, and then it all came.
And then it
was
came out
in
on
the
TV,
news.
it was on the news about other folk.
Exactly what he had
Exactly
told
what
everybody, and they were
said.
kept
So
in
what were they doing?
caravans.
What were they doing? Taking them for
Slave
what?
labour.
Slave labour. Oh, I see. My goodness, I've never heard that before. That's amazing. Well, because I knew he ran, you know, he was a wee
He was
character.
a fantastic guy. He organised charity dances, and
Yes.
he would turn up in his good suit. He did a whitewater rafting thing for raising money for charity. He was a great wee fella.
Yeah.
But as I say, stranger to the soap. But
And a lot of the boys seem to have lived in the burn around here when they were younger as well, as we discovered. So maybe soap was near required.
no. I'm sure Matt Davey would be in the burn most days.
Was indeed.
Yes, I know he wasn't playing football. I'm just thinking about what, when my children, the Kirkmichael grounds was a great place to go and have no, not so much the house. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about children. Great place to go, maybe have an odd illicit refreshment, because you had all those grounds when
To hide in.
to hide in. Well, they never, my children never told me this, but this is what I'm guessing when you see, I have seen an odd can line about making wee dens and using the swings, using the trees, and it was a great facility. They had the burn, they had, you know, plenty of space. It was great for kids. You know, loads of space, freedom to run about, really.
Well, my boys spent a lot of time in the burn.
Your house is beside that. We were talking about the duck race and some of the things, the old galas. That's another thing that we were talking about. You know, how they had there was a kind of two phases. There were the older galas of our era, and then there's the newer galas nowadays.
But we had a gala week.
Aye, a full week of
It was a
things.
full week of things.
Was there not a duck race when they opened the sluice at the dam and the water came surging down?
Well, but that's separate from the flood, of course. Which was,
that's the flood, but we had
Uh-huh.
the wee duck race with the plastic ducks, and then all of a sudden a kind of big volume of water came flying
I think
down.
that was done on purpose though, wasn't it? Because the summer had been so dry and there's no water in the burn.
Was it?
So somebody had asked
Oh,
if any chance you were able to let some water out the dam. So somebody must have said, right, swoosh, that'll do. But of course it all came at once.
And then they were throwing children out of the burn.
This dry burn just became a torrent. Ducks everywhere.
Yeah, we didn't need the same facilities, but it was a full week. You know,
Oh, it was
there
a
were-
full week.
There were loads of,
There was
you know, there were
treasure hunts,
orienteering and things
orienteering.
and all these different things.
So it was, and then
And the dance at the end.
the
The
dance.
dance.
at the end. And that was the night of the gala. The dance was always the night.
Well, another thing
That
is,
was,
sorry, I just suddenly thought on something there. The guitar festival we haven't spoken about. I don't know what memories you've got of the guitar festival.
And that's when the galas stopped because the guitar festival was roughly the same time.
What year are we talking about there?
I think
Very hard to say.
late 90s, I thought it was.
As late as that?
Was it May? Was it May the 18th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was great because I used to say at my work, you know, we've got a guitar festival and
International.
and I say it's an international. They come from all over America and out in the route at Kirkmichael. And I say yes.
Was this Martin Stevenson?
Yeah,
Martin
Martin Taylor.
Martin Taylor.
Martin Taylor.
Who was a great
Yeah.
guitarist.
Well, very well known.
I'm trying to think of some of the people who
He
were on it.
used to play with Stephen Grappelli. And his violin and Martin Taylor.
Well,
Oh, it's a lot.
there were loads of, they're famous for
Well, there was a guy called Tommy Emmanuel
Yes.
who actually he opened the Sydney Olympics. He was part of the opening ceremony of the
He's
Sydney
fabulous.
Olympics, and he played it.
Kirkmichael. They were famous.
Georgie Fane.
Georgie Fane,
Remember him?
without the blue flames. But,
Really?
And Sasha Distel was supposed to come. Well, I think it was the last year. But he was ill or something. Couldn't come, so.
No, the village was taken over by the festival. I actually had a couple of guys stayed. I think it must have been, I can't remember what year it was, but we had the spare room and I thought, they were looking for some for accommodation. So they stayed for about a week. In fact, they stayed longer than I thought because the guy took ill.
Oh dear.
And
you weren't cooking.
I cooked nothing.
Les Hannah did a lot of organisation
Yes,
for the
he's
guitar festival.
Yeah, we're fortunate enough that we've got a lot of the stuff that Les Hannah, because we're very meticulous in the record keeping about the organisation of the guitar festival. We have it in our archives and say all the details and the meticulously about costings and all the planning out of the venue and everything like that. Amazing.
I think it was good because it was different types of guitar music.
Yes, it was.
And it was in different venues, like the church had,
Some-
there, and the hall, and and obviously the playing fields.
Yeah.
So it was varied. So there was something to suit everybody really, which was good.
And then you could go to the pub. Well, there was a bar there, of course, but it was a big thing, and it was the international. People would say, if they knew nothing about Kirkmichael, they would say, "Oh, that's the place that had the guitar festival."
And it started quite a thing in the school, didn't it? They all got
the-
the guitars and
Yes.
Martin Taylor.
Encouraged the wee ones to play the guitar, and I think Les Hannah's son went on to play the guitar, and there was a trainer got Martin Taylor's guitar. So
He's got a guitar shop as well now.
what?
Oh, he works in the guitar shop.
Really? Is that what he went on to do?
Top of the Blair Road, yeah.
Oh, really? He's in the guitar shop. Right. That's interesting because that's we're maybe sowing the seed there of what we're doing. So we're thinking of entertainment then. How did we entertain ourselves? I mean,
Oh well, we watched George Brydon on television.
Oh,
Yes,
Oh,
game
yeah.
shows.
Game show.
oh, that's right. You're a quiz boy.
Put plenty of entertainment in
Put
that.
Anne Robinson in our place.
Were you in what do you call that one?
The weakest
Weakest
link.
link.
Were you in the weakest way?
He won it.
In fact,
Did
as well.
you? Did you win it?
Oh.
Sorry, George.
It was a funny
Well,
thing
look
because
up the
I
archives
wasn't
for that.
supposed to be on it, but I'd gone up for an audition and they said, right, we'll let you know. I've never heard anything more about it, but they had my name. And the night before it was due to be filmed, had been a terrible snowstorm. So there was a lot of people coming up from England that were contestants that couldn't make it. So I got a phone call on the night before, says, can you be up in Glasgow for 8 o'clock in the morning? And I said, I think I can. So I jumped in the car and went up to Glasgow and I got into the weakest link. So that was how it happened.
And you were not in the crypt.
It was at that time when it was, when I was working at Auckland Crove, there was quite a group of us and we decided, there used to be a programme called Busman's Holiday. It was where groups of people that did a certain job could go on it, and if they won, they got taken to wherever they wanted in the world to pursue their particular job. So we thought, well, that'll be good. I work in the grassland. We'll see if we can get to New Zealand because it's a great grassland. So that was the reason we went on it. We didn't get on it, We got the edition, but didn't get on it. So after that, because I had applied for it, they had my name and address, and I kept getting things through the post.
Right.
And the next one came was the Krypton Factor, so I said, well, I'll go with that. So I actually got in that. That was great fun, great fun.
That was a great programme.
It was
Multi-talented.
good.
There's another one you were on as well, another quiz thing. No?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm hopeless at remembering these things, but
So-
famous.
Tell us, is Anne Robinson, is she is
She fierce.
yes, or is she just a bit of fun?
No, to tell the truth, the contestants didn't see much Anne Robinson at all.
What did they know?
No, you don't. She appeared to do what you see her doing in the TV, but she didn't meet any of the contestants before her. She obviously had been genned up in what to ask them, because she knew, how to be cheeky to people. she was.
She met and matched and you then?
No, she was. Oh my God! I tell you, it wasn't put out, but I don't know if I can repeat it. She said, yeah, you're a gardener. Yes. And I suppose you'll be charging a fortune. So no, I don't know. So what would you do for me? I said, well, if you wanted me to come and trim your wee bush, trim your wee bush, your wee red bush.
All right.
Right. You want me to come and trim your wee red bush, I'll be most that didn't go out. She just did that, you know how she always had that wee wry smile when she moved on to somebody else. No, she was okay. She was good. You knew what to expect when you went on that. You could either get clobbered or get through it okay. So I managed to get through it okay.
Very good. Well done.
And the programme's still going.
What?
Aye.
That doesn't seem the same.
It's not the same.
No,
It's a tiny bit back on, George.
No, I don't think so. I think Anne had been. She's not just too PC enough nowadays. That's the trouble. Too many
Well, I don't know.
PC
I
stuff.
don't know. From what I saw on the television earlier today, I don't think it matters.
That's what I see.
Right?
Well, are there other programmes
It
today?
begins with Trump.
I
See
see.
a bag.
Oh, I brought that. It's an old family Bible.
Oh.
Because every time when we first moved to the village, the locals used to call me up, you're nothing but an interloper. An interloper being, we don't have that. Interloper being someone who is a kind of a blow-in, as they call it in Ireland. Is that right, Noreen?
I've never heard him called
One
that.
of the
But probably called a lot of things.
So Matt Davey was always one for. This is the old family Bible, the Bryden family Bible, and it's George and Sarah Bryden. Just coincidentally, George Bryden was my great grandfather,
Really?
and there's a wee. I'll go into it, but there's a wee bit in the middle where the family registry
Okay.
was put in,
Yes.
and George Bryden, who lived in Burnfoot Hill at Patna, he was a miner, and Sarah McMurdo, who was a dairymaid, I think, for Creshill, met in Kirkmichael and were married in Kirkmichael Parish Church.
Really?
So every time Matt says you're an interloper, I says I was here before you were. So it's in there, the deaths,
The details.
the details of the deaths.
What year was that?
Marriage.
What was that? Sorry, George. I just wondered what that era then.
Well, this was he was born in 1846.
All right, I see.
So Sarah McMurdo Bryden married to Alex. Oh no, that's the daughter. That's the daughter. George Bryden, 11th of January 1846 at Muirkirk he was born, and Sarah Boyd, in the parish of Kirkmichael, the 17th day of September 1845. So that was their birthday. That's when they were born. I don't know how it tells you they were married.
Yeah. That doesn't
So were
matter.
you born in Ayrshire as well then, George?
Aye, I was born in Ayrshire.
Right.
I was born up near Rankis and Drongan.
All right.
On
Right.
that way.
So you didn't, your family really in all that time haven't really moved around too much?
No.
No?
Well, I haven't, but other members of the family have, but
Yeah.
came back here.
Yeah.
But I only came back here temporarily, as I said, because there was a house going.
And did you know that connection before?
No,
No, it's just a bit weird,
It
isn't
is, it is, it's
Aye.
drawing you.
That's it.
Well, I'm a definite interloper because I'm originally from Northern Ireland, but
I'd never guess from your accent.
I've been trying to hold on to that accent.
Well, it's
It's all
very-
mine.
You've managed.
I've managed. Well, that's good, Tom. Please. Well, you'll be. You're born in Ayrshire, weren't you, John?
I am here, yeah.
Yeah.
I still think of myself.
Ayr.
I still think of myself as. I mean, when I go into Ayr, I get very disappointed with how Ayr looks nowadays, because Ayr used to be a nice place.
Well, it's when I first moved.
And it was great coming out here because you were 15 minutes away from your work, and yet you were
right.
a completely different
It
environment.
was.
But I wouldn't thank you to live in Ayr now.
I know that when I first moved to Ayr, I said, Ayr now. How long does it take to get there?
Well, that's right. They think this is the
And
end of the world.
do you get snow there? You know, this kind of thing. As if it was about 50 miles away up a mountain.
Funnily enough, I was up Ayr High Street yesterday, and you could have fired a machine gun up the high street at 2 o'clock and not hit anybody. I mean, it's deserted.
It's terrible.
I think we were lucky when we moved here because it's a great village.
Yes,
to live
yes,
in.
it's always
To
been
bring
a,
families up. And
yeah, that's what I say, the space and all the rest.
Are you still drawing young people to the village?
Oh, definitely,
Well,
yeah.
it's not
I think Kirkmichael's got a good reputation as being a nice village to live in because there's lots of things going on and you can either do them or not do them, you know, you can suit yourself. But no, if I say that I live in Kirkmichael, I'll say, oh, it's a lovely place, you know. You know, and I've just been passing through or whatever. So
We've heard all about the wine tasting.
Oh,
Do you know anything more about that?
Well, your mum and
my
dad were
mum
in
and
the-
dad were in the wine club here.
the wine
so-
circle. God, remember they used to have an annual thing where you paid about £1 and you'd have all these different wines, carrot, rhubarb, nettle, and you'd get folk go, oh, some of and I mean, you got some people getting into pretty bad states.
Well, they had a punch bowl when you went in.
Aye,
They
yeah,
had
yeah.
a bowl of punch and that
And
started you off.
I think we should start it up again. Hey, I'm
Oh, I
getting very interested.
remember having demi-johns all over the place, you know, in the kitchen. and
Did you
wherever.
make some?
I used to
John
make
attempted
it.
to make beer, but not one.
Dave Ridge and I used to make a bit of wine. We used the cellars. We used the cellar at Kirkmichael House to ferment some because it was a nice steady temperature.
The person John spoke with, Dave Ridge, he ran Kirkmichael House for a while along with his wife.
Is that when the boys were
Ah,
there?
The boys, they were the.
And you were making this wine in the cellar? I love it.
It's all education.
Science.
There was a period of time, 70s and maybe it was 80s, and there was beer making. I remember buckets sitting about our house with Debbie Johns, and people were trying to make their own.
Just going back to Kirkmichael House, we were up there one night, you know, in the summer, because the kids went, it was strange because the kids went home in Christmas holidays, Easter holidays, summer holidays. So Dave and Jackie Ridge, it was basically like
The
an empty house. So we
house.
were up there having a drink, and there's a snooker table at that time. There was a full-size snooker table, so we were having a game of snooker. And there's this thing going beep, beep, and I said, what the hell's that, Dave? And he says, well, if that intermittent beep becomes a constant beep, that was like the 3-minute alert for nuclear water, because Kirkmichael House cellars, that was one of the places you were supposed to go in the event of
really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
And then eventually, because Russia wasn't a problem, all these things were obviously switched off. But
Right.
yeah, when would that be? That would be in the 80s. It was still, this thing was still going beep.
I'm sure
Well, we
Dave
hope-
took us down to the cellars
Yeah.
so that we could see
We
where
hope-
to go.
Select a place for the. Select a
Interrupt
place.
you because, funnily enough, Colin and Rhona were just saying that's something we haven't done has got some information about Kirkmichael House that really it would be quite interesting to try and get some more information about Kirkmichael House.
It's quite interesting though that you had your wine down there. You'd have drank yourself to death in the event of that anyway.
That's right, the event of a nuclear war, there's plenty.
I know it was a very fortunate we had the contact with the Ridges, because you could go up there in loads of space. We had a few good gatherings there.
Yeah.
We were friendly with them and we had that space. As
Ouija board.
Oh,
The Ouija board.
I didn't like
I
that.
thought that house is supposed to be haunted. We got told that perhaps it was.
Oh, I don't know, but we had some good nights, and ironically that couple then moved, when they had to leave there, they moved down to Portcheek to live.
Is there a magnet in Port?
I don't know, maybe it's a house price or cheap or something.
But Jackie might be able to give you some information about Kirkmichael House.
Yes, I'll maybe search that out. We might get a chance of going up there and getting some more information.
I'm sure it'll be very different now.
Oh, of course, in terms of structure, and it is a house now, and the stables have all been done up. They had stables just at there's the, what do you call it, the house as you're going in, the gatehouse, thank you, which Fergus lives in, and then they have the stables, big stables.
Oh, that's where the Watsons are.
Aye, and that's been totally gutted, lovely premises, and then further on up. You do a bit of work up there, George, so yeah, I mean there are more plans afoot, I think, to build and things like that, but maybe that's top secret.
Well, it's no, the plans have been in for a while, but I think he's having second thoughts on whether it's going to go worthwhile.
But it's a great facility. We loved using that. That was a great thing for
It's still good because now this present owner lets the villagers walk through the woods. To a certain extent, you can go wherever you like if you want, but he's made paths, and the paths are good for dog walking.
How are we doing for time? We're just about. Is there anything particular that you want to finish up with? A story of anything we haven't covered, like why you like it here, or why you or any? I'm not going to say negative things, but any. I mean, I think the fact that we're here and we've lived here quite a long time says it all, really. Or any other historical pieces that I've maybe missed out. I haven't mentioned the church, but we'll have our own session on the church later next month. I don't know whether there's another, and then maybe some of the younger age groups as well, trying to work our way down.
Are there younger people than us?
No, we're the youngsters. At least we don't act our age. Some people
Not in heart and mind.
Some of us don't act our age, but we've been very fortunate. We've got great community and friends and folk you can just ask, for help and shout on if you need them. So.
I think what I remember most when we first started coming here was Hogmanay. First couple of years at Hogmanay was still the old style.
I didn't.
Every house had a light on, and folk used to go around with the carryouts. That sort of stuff. That's one thing. Portcheek. I mean, there are stories. My husband isn't here, but apparently he was found lying sleeping on the party.
He disappeared.
He disappeared from our house. So I went across the road to your house because Richard had gone over to phone somebody in America to wish them a happy new year. And I found him head in the fireplace, sound asleep.
I remember wee Hughie Sloan trying to get out that there's a wee cupboard underneath the stairs.
In like Noreen's house.
Well, he was leaving about 4 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to get out, he thought that was the front door.
That was the front door. I mean, Hughie was only 5'2" and he's having to scoot to get, and he thought that was the front door.
No, it was great because it was just so open doors, really. Open doors, and I just.
Because we're all young.
We were all young.
Our young families.
And so you couldn't go too far, but you were just all floating about in one door and out the other, and so on. It was. I think because it's a cul-de-sac, that helped. Well, maybe I'm saying it helped. I don't know. I think we're oblivious to traffic, but
we're going to a fancy dress. Like yours.
Oh,
a fancy dress, a
well, we ended up down here.
I know, but We started off at Val and Tom's, and Richard went as a climber because he had all the gear, and I went, I think it was a St Ninian schoolgirl at that too. I can't remember, where did you go?
Oh, I can't remember.
An old man job.
I probably dressed up as a golfer.
I wouldn't say the obvious.
I don't think on that count that anybody actually beats the guy that came in his birthday suit. Wonder who that might be.
You can edit that bit out.
I think we'll have to finish this. Can I just say thank you very, very much for taking part and sharing the stories, or if you have any photographs that you have or any information, we will copy it and get it into our archives and so on, so that we can add to things, or we just touched on bits and pieces, but it's all been good. It's been good fun.
Maybe the odd picture, maybe like when your mother and father retired out of the pub.
Yes, that would be good.
An odd picture of the people who were in the pub that night.
That would be good.
Yeah, that would be good for us to put on the video.
See what people looked like 40 years ago.